Hey, Brian here from Flight Test Forums. Somebody suggested or had asked how I get some clean cuts on some tight curves here, so I figured I'd just do a quick video and show how I go about it. Couple pieces to the F6F Hellcat. Instead, I basically cut my piece so that I'm not dealing with everything else here. And then I'll just go ahead, relatively fresh blade. Actually, I cut most of this one out with this blade and the previous plane, but I'll just cut through just in a little bit, just so that I get through the paper and the pattern. And it's more about moving the part into the blade than it is pulling the blade around. It's easier to control the part and keep it smooth than it would be for me to try to move the whole blade with my arm. And I'm just cutting through the top edge of the foam board right now, not all the way down through, just getting a nice clean cut on the top here. Make sure that my pattern doesn't come off. I use the Loctite 100 so that it makes it easy for the pattern to come off. Sometimes the pattern peels up a little bit though, so it can get interesting. There, I'm through the first one. Now before I go ahead and continue, I'm just going to go ahead and rip this middle out here. Again, halfway through, and then go back and go all the way through. And for me, it's a lot about keeping the part mobile, moving the part around. Quick spin, just moving it through and rotating the part. Usually keeping my hand and my knife in a pretty narrow area. Spin it around. Flip it over and check my other side. Do a quick pop out. And I'll just go ahead and start my other side again. Now this time I'm going to go all the way down through until I feel the mat. And you can feel the part dragging a little bit. If your blade's getting dull or you've got too much of a up and down angle, you can feel it start to tear the paper on the bottom. So I'll kind of angle the blade down in. Now on a tighter curve, that becomes a problem, so I'll just deal with kind of the chewed up paper on the other side in a situation like that. This way, and then you can kind of feel it when it's done. Once you get to where you started, and it's done. If you look, I don't know if you can see that. You can see where it cut all the way through. And I missed a little bit right there. So just do a little trim there. Get my part out. And nice clean edges. Comes out pretty clean. I'll do this one now, because this one I got to use the hobby knife on. This curve is kind of tight in there. And again, just through. I don't know if you can see that. Not all the way through. And then I'll just go ahead and move the part. And it's a dance between the knife and the part, keeping things nice and smooth. And keep it slow. It's not about rushing. It's about making sure you kind of stick with the lines there. I'm going to go ahead and cut out this little square in the middle too. Definitely got to have good light so that you can see the lines and make sure that you're staying pretty true to the lines. And that's through. Now this is kind of tight. Now I can kind of do this run here with this blade. I'll go ahead and switch blades. Now I've got a nice tight angle on this as I go through, But as I come into these tight turns, my blade's coming up a little bit so that it's going to cut more straight. It's going to tear the paper a little bit if the blade's not sharp. Now you see how I'm just holding the blade in place and moving the part through the blade? That way, as I'm going for these intricate cuts, I don't have to worry so much about my hand trying to follow that goofy curve through there. That didn't cut all the way through, so I'll go through and one more pass. I didn't have much of an angle on there. Let's see. You can see, again, you can see most of it there, but there's some spots there where it's a little thin. So I'll just go through and, again, with just the tip of the blade, I'm just going to go through the very, very top layer of paper. And go ahead and just a little doink there, a little doink there, a little doink there. And pretty clean part. Comes out pretty nice. Now this I might end up sanding and stuff, that little top. I don't know how big that's going to be a problem. And then I just have my little scratch alls. I guess I could just use a skewer to poke through here or whatever. Get my holes poked through. Oops, and I just bent that tiny little part there. But nice smooth edges, and it's just patience. Sharp blade, multiple cuts, but it's that trick of kind of moving the part through the blade, and you're just guiding the blade to make that nice smooth cut. And then you go through and the second part again. And there I just goofed that one up because I'm trying to rush it, but you can see, you get the idea. Hope the video did a little better job of showing the work as opposed to my description. But hey, thanks. Hope it helps.